In his latest book, How to Write One Song, Jeff Tweedy wrote, "We have a choice. To be on the side of creation or to surrender to the powers that destroy it." And we do. We have that choice. We always have that choice, and we're always making that choice. Even when we're refusing to choose, we're making a choice. Most people make that choice unconsciously, by default. And the power to choose, to consciously choose, is one of our greatest superpowers. There's actually a power that's even greater. Our ability to consciously create. And that's what I want to share with you today, is a process, a magical process, if you will, since magic actually comes from an old Persian word that literally means to be able or to have the power. So what I want to share with you today is a process to own your power, to consciously create anything you choose without eliminating negative beliefs, without killing off your old identity, and without getting up every day and battling a dragon. Because here's what I know. If you consciously choose it, you can create it. Think of something you'd really like to create, but you never have. It could be anything. Because the process I'm going to teach you today, it's the same process, whether you want to create wealth and abundance, health and fitness, a business, a relationship, anything that you want to create individually or as part of a team. The process is the same. This method is how we consciously create anything. So when you think of something that you really want to create, here's the question: what's stopping you? And no, this isn't one of those, I'm going to shame you because you haven't created what you want to create. And it's not about if you wanted it bad enough, you'd find a way, but if you don't, you'll find an excuse. That actually is nonsense. And I'll tell you, I've been coaching and consulting almost 30 years. Next year will be my 30th year doing this. And after hundreds, if not thousands of clients, I can tell you that for most people, the thing they most want to create is the last thing they'll create or even pursue creating. And we're talking about people that on the surface are extremely successful. It's not because they're not creating things that we all want. It's because most people are living for a life they will never allow themselves to have. I'm going to say that again, and I want you to ask if it's true for you. Most people are living for a life they will never allow themselves to have. That's because what we really want to create isn't a thing. It's not about what you want to have, what you want to be, what you want to do. It's about the experience of life you want to have. And so many people create the things, but they never create the experience. They've got the things they wanted to have. They've done the things they wanted to do. They've become what they wanted to be. But they aren't living the life they want to live. That's because our reality isn't about our circumstances. Our reality is always about our perspective of our circumstances and our experience of our circumstances. What we really want to create is a new reality. And when you know what reality you want to create, then you claim the power to create it. See, we think we need to change our circumstances, and then we can experience the reality. When I have money, I'll have freedom. When I have fitness, I'll have that relationship. when I have this, then I'll have the experience that I want to have of my life. It doesn't work that way. We actually have to create the experience, and then the circumstances just naturally start to align to that new reality. So I'll ask you again, what's something that you really want to create, but you haven't yet? And what's stopping you? See, we all do everything that we want is because we have a belief that it will make us feel how we want to feel. So you're probably going to tell me the reason you haven't created that thing that you're thinking about is because you have some limiting beliefs, negative beliefs, beliefs that literally negate your power to create what you want. Well, fortunately, as my mentor Robert Fritz says, we're not in the belief game. We're in the creation game, which is a good thing because everybody has negative beliefs. And if we spend all of our energy trying to eliminate them, we just feed them more energy because that's where our focus is. And energy will always follow focus. So belief absolutely determines your default. But we're not talking about creating a default, we're talking about creating consciously. So while we'll always have limiting beliefs, we luckily can hold conflicting beliefs simultaneously. So I can have a belief that I am a powerful creator, and at the same time, I have a belief that I'm still that 5-year-old girl terrified that the new neighbors next door won't like me. I can hold those two beliefs simultaneously, and I can choose which of those two beliefs I create out of. So we can choose to create from the belief that supports our creation, that's on the side of our creation, instead of the belief that is a power that destroys our creation. Yeah. So if we talk about beliefs, we always have to talk about the most gnarly beliefs we have, which are identity level beliefs, right? The things we think we are, the things we think we aren't, are identity. Some of these beliefs are conscious. So when you ask yourself, what am I? Who am I? I am, we might say, well, I'm a doctor, I'm an actor, I'm an artist, I'm a consultant. That's conscious. I believe I am whatever I'm filling in the blank with, right? And then we have unconscious identity beliefs. Sometimes we call these the wounded identity beliefs because they're all about what we're not. I am not enough or good enough. I am not significant. I do not belong. I am not. I do not. I lack. Unconscious identity beliefs. See, your identity is based on actually more than beliefs, conscious and unconscious. It's also based on memories, conscious, unconscious, even superconscious. It's based on emotions, traumas, ancestral memory, genetic memory. Your identity is based on things that you can't access consciously in your day-to-day life. So let me guess. If the identity is something that controls the default reality, and our identity is always then in conflict with a new reality, we just kill the old identity, right? Isn't that pretty much what everybody thinks? I just need to kill my old identity. Well, let me tell you something. If you really want to create pain in your life, try telling some part of yourself, the part of you that thinks it is you, that it needs to die in order for you to create what you want. So telling your identity it needs to die probably isn't what you want to do. On the other hand, you have this identity that created your reality. So I want you just to imagine, we're going to use a little prop here, that your identity is down here and your current reality is here. but the desired reality is over here. Just imagine that with me. So you start to create your desired reality. Feels okay, feels not so okay because you haven't changed your identity. Am I right? So this is what happens when we create change without changing our identity. Identity, however, always changes. You're not the same person that you were at 5, 15, 25. But that feeling that you get when you're stretched is called resistance. So if we want to talk about resistance, I have to quote Steven Pressfield. In his book, Do the Work, Steven Pressfield wrote, "On the field of the self stands a knight and a dragon. You are the knight. Resistance is the dragon. And the only intercourse possible between the knight and the dragon is battle." And we romanticize that, don't we? We all want to be the knight. We're battling our resistance. We're battling our old identity. We're battling our beliefs. But that isn't how we consciously create. So I'm going to walk you through a process to get into a conscious creation of a new identity and your desired reality. So that instead of being stretched like this, your identity shifts to help you in supporting, by default, what you want to create. Everybody ready for that? Good, good. Because what I'm going to teach you, it's just like a workout schedule. It really is the same thing. You do it, you do another rep, you do another rep. And while bench pressing 200 pounds isn't going to change your body, doing this once isn't going to change your identity or your reality. Doing it repeatedly will. So you ready? Good. Remember that thing I asked you? What you would like to create, but you never have? I want you to choose it. There's a difference between wanting it and choosing it, by the way. You ever walk into a store and go, I want that, and I want that, and I want that? Or you sit down at dinner and you say, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. Do you get those things because you want them? No, you only get what you choose. You only get what you buy. You only get what you order. You only get what you take action to have in your life. So I want you to choose it, not just want it. Got it? All right. When you have a choice, I want you to picture it just like it was a magic ball that you could just put your hands around. And the first step in the creation cycle is to focus on it. Focus is all about singularity and clarity. When you focus on that choice, and that's the only thing you're focused on, singularity, you start to get clarity of what it would really be like to have that in your life. So focus on that choice, let that clarity start to show up, and you will start to feel desire. That feeling of desire takes you into the next step in this creation cycle, which is actually to feel your desired reality. We're going to go from that feeling of desire into a feeling of desire fulfilled. I have created what I want. I have created it. And this is how it feels. And let the details show up. So often we think we need to visualize that end result. I don't want you to visualize it until you feel it. So feel what it would be like for you to have created that thing that you want. Details show up. And now I want you to come back and feel what that choice is like in your current reality, in your state of, I want it, I haven't created it. Maybe you've started, maybe you're still dreaming about it. But in your current reality, how does it feel? You see, when we contrast the feeling of our desired reality with our current reality, we create tension. And tension creates a tendency for movement. If your desired reality and your current reality are too far apart, you're going to feel a tendency to take action to bring them together, right? So the next stage when you're feeling that tendency to take action is to follow through on the action you're inspired to take. One small one. And that can be masculine or feminine action, inner action, outer action. You can take action right now, and I want you to do that. That action might be to make a decision. It could be as simple as, I'm really going to go for this. I'm not going to dream about it anymore. That's an action. It could be I'm going to take that off my schedule because it's interfering with my ability to create. That's an action. Those are inner actions. I'm not going to ask you to take any outer actions right now because that means that you would leave before we're finished. But take an action. When you take an action, it creates an outcome. And the next step in creation is feedback. Now, we get resistance to feedback because we think it's success or failure. Feedback isn't success or failure. Feedback is, yes, that took me closer. No, it didn't. I need to course correct. Yes, it took me closer. No, I need to course correct. That action I took was an aligned action, took me closer. It wasn't. I take a different action, right? And then we go right back. We repeat the cycle again. So I want you to go through it quickly now. Focus only on your choice. Get clarity. Let that feeling of desire for your choice move you into the feeling of your desired reality. Desire realized. And then compare that to your current reality. What action are you inspired to take? Take the action, follow through on the action. Inner, outer, take action, get the outcome. Look at your feedback. Did that take you closer? Do you need to course correct? Repeat, focus, again and again. And here's what's going to happen. The day is going to come when the feedback says, I'm done. I've completed it. I have created. I do not need to repeat. It is complete. I've created what I wanted to create. And your last step is to celebrate, to really own what you've created, to be in your power as what I call a super creator, to create more of what you want to create. Are you the same person? Yes. Do you have the same identity? Not anymore, you don't. Your new identity, your new reality is just your first step to standing in your power to create anything that you choose to create consciously. Thank you.